What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another Detroit Lions video. Now today we have a lot of breaking Lions news, so we got to get into it real quick. But before we do, if you are new to the channel and are enjoying the content, consider liking the videos and subscribing to the channel. It takes 2 seconds out of your day to make mine, and I'd be very, very appreciative to everybody that chooses to do so. And with that being said, let's get into talking about this breaking Lions news, because there is quite a lot and it is pretty important. Now, the first bit of news that I want to talk about is the players being activated from the COVID-19 list. Now, yesterday, Amani Oruwariye, TJ Hockenson, and Aaron Sipos were all activated from the COVID-19 list and are now allowed back at training camp. Now, that leaves only one player, being Jalen Elliott, the undrafted free agent safety out of Notre Dame, being the only one left on the COVID-19 list, and that is important, and we will get to that in a little bit. Moving on to the releases and the cuts. Now, the Detroit Lions cut 6 players last night, and they cut one player about a week ago. Now, the player that was cut about a week ago was Daylon Mack, the defensive tackle that we brought in from the Baltimore Ravens to add to our defensive tackle room. He apparently failed a physical and was waived by the Detroit Lions mere days after we picked him up off of, out of free agency. So, that's kind of unfortunate to hear. Obviously, I made a video on it talking about what he could bring to the Detroit Lions. I thought he could have been a very good run stopper for the Detroit Lions. I thought he could have been a big addition to the team. But obviously, if you fail your physical, you're not going to be a member of any football team. So, it's unfortunate to see, but he was released by the Detroit Lions. And then last night, the Detroit Lions officially released 6 players, getting them down to an 81-man roster. Now, they released Travis Fulgham, the former 6th-round wide receiver from Old Dominion. They released Joshua Garnett, the former 1st-round pick by the San Francisco 49ers, who was expected to compete for a backup guard position. They released Michael Jackson, the cornerback, Chris Lacey, the wide receiver, Christian Sin, the linebacker, and Jonathan Wynn, the defensive end. So my takeaways from these moves, right? So the first thing I realized is that no rookies have been cut yet. Neither drafted rookies nor undrafted free agents. Every undrafted free agent and drafted rookie are still on the team. They still remain on the team at this point, which makes me think that they're performing pretty well. Even though they're not necessarily in padded practices yet, they are doing something right to instill faith in the coach, and they are making the coaches believe that they are better than these veterans that they just beat out in training camp so far. Now, the second thing is that the Detroit Lions and the coaching staff must have a lot of faith in Quintez Cephus. They must really like Quintez Cephus and Jamal Agnew at wide receiver after cutting 2 wide receivers in Travis Fulgham and Chris Lacey. And Chris Lacey had a decent role last year. He played in quite a few games and had a big role last year when people started going down. So the fact that they released Chris Lacey tells me that they have a lot of faith and that they really like Quintez Cephus and Jamal Agnew at wide receiver, and that those 2 are going to be competing for that 5th wide receiver spot throughout training camp. The third takeaway is that now the Detroit Lions, obviously cutting down an 81-man roster, you think that's weird, but they can now practice as a team. They can now practice as a full team. And, you might be saying, well, they can only do that with an 80-man roster. Why are they doing it with an 81? Well, the fact that Jalen Elliott is still on the COVID-19 list makes it so that they can practice as a unit. There are only 80 guys in the building, so they can now practice as one cohesive unit. They can now be in one big group and practice in training camp, opposed to splitting up into 2 groups when they had the 90-man roster. Now, with that being said, when Jalen Elliott eventually does come off that COVID-19 list, expect one more cut. Whether that be in the safety room, whether that be Jalen Elliott himself or another safety in that room, expect one more cut, because when Jalen Elliott gets back, the roster officially updates. Well, I guess the Detroit Lions will officially have 81 guys in the building, which cannot happen, and they will have to split up again. So when Jalen Elliott is officially taken off and activated from the COVID-19 list, expect the Detroit Lions to make one more release. I would expect it to be in the safety room. While Jalen Elliott is on the COVID-19 list, I think that they're just testing people out. They're seeing what they like out of guys, what they don't like out of guys. And when Jalen Elliott comes back, I would expect them to release another safety, because Jalen Elliott will come in and replace that safety. Maybe it's CJ Moore, or maybe it's somebody else or maybe it's an undrafted free agent or somebody else from that safety room. But expect at least one more cut before training camp, or expect at least one more cut by time Jalen Elliott comes back from the COVID-19 list. So that was the breaking news. The Detroit Lions have officially cut 7 players in this past week and activated 3 from the COVID-19 list, leaving only one guy on the COVID-19 list and allowing them to practice as one team instead of splitting up into two different groups. I wanted to get this out to you. This was breaking lives. This was pretty big stuff. So I wanted to get this out and kind of give you my opinion and my takeaways on it. There will be another video later today, talking about more Detroit Lions stuff, so stay tuned for that. But with that being said, that is all I have for you guys today. If there is more Lions news before the end of the day, I will make a video letting everybody know. But until then, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. With that being said, I will see all of you in the video later today. Bye, guys.